Did you think we were done with the Johto series? Oh no, there are two important specials we have yet to take care of. So without further ado, let's go on to the first of our specials, Pokemon Mewtwo Returns. As a special, it was aired in theaters but on television screens on December 30th, 2000 in Japan, and then getting a VHS and DVD release in America on December 5th, 2001. This is something big. The very first Pokemon special, and it has a really great concept. It's essentially a follow-up to Pokemon's first movie. I guess we'll talk more about that later, but let's get on to the plot itself. Our movie begins with Mewtwo living peacefully alongside his various Pokemon clones in a remote part of Johto called Mount Kuina. Mewtwo wants to avoid all contact with humans while the clones are getting pretty restless in their kind of gilded cage. At the same time, Giovanni is busy hunting down Mewtwo, and he's getting really close. We of course have to cut to Ash and friends, who are passing towards Mount Kuina, passing through an area called Purity Valley, swept up in a typhoon. This forces them to retreat into a cabin at the base of the mountain, and we get the famous drying pan joke. Anyway, at the same time, the bus isn't so fortunate either, as it gets caught up in the winds and almost crashes. Mewtwo manages to save it with his psychic powers, with cloned Pikachu and Meowth questioning why he did this considering his whole no humans policy. Mewtwo says he did it so he doesn't want people to show up, but Pikachu and Meowth state that maybe he has empathy towards people. Mewtwo rejects this idea, of course. Ash and friends try to get around the mountain, failing at their every attempt, before they decide to just climb over it, with the researchers with them basically telling them that's impossible. Another pair of researchers join up before Team Rocket shows up, in their classic kidnap Pikachu fashion. Unfortunately, the winds of the typhoon prevent them from really escaping, and Ash and everybody manages to climb up into the balloon before one of the researchers, Domino, and then reveals herself as a member of Team Rocket, sending the video she caught of Mewtwo back to headquarters. She then pops the balloons, everybody falls to their apparent deaths. However, Pikachu and Team Rocket and everybody else really are alive, with them being separated from everybody else. Pikachu and Team Rocket are captured quickly by the clones, who lock them away in a rather well-made prison cell concerning the fact there's just a bunch of Pokemon. Anyway, a Team Rocket combat unit is quickly approaching. As such, the Pikachu clone rallies the various clones together, freeing Pikachu and Meowth as well so they can join the fray, and leads to charge against Team Rocket. While this goes on, Ash and everybody else are trying to make their way back to where Pikachu and everybody else are, finding an incredibly pure and medically useful pool of water along the way. Remember this because it'll be important in the plot later. It's a trope called Chekhov's gun. Team Rocket arrives, and the clones are outmatched. The helicopters release a stun blast that paralyzes the various clones, before they drop Pokeballs on top of them, capturing them. Pikachu and Meowth manage to save their respective clones just in time to prevent them from being captured, and the four attempt to make their escape, only to end up being cornered. Thankfully, at the last moment, Mewtwo jumps in, destroying the various Pokeballs and saving all the clones at once. Giovanni reveals himself basically with Muhahaha, and then summons two machines that surround Mewtwo. Mewtwo tries fighting him off, but they're specifically designed to fight against him. With Mewtwo taken care of, Giovanni turns his attention towards the home that Mewtwo and the clones have managed to make for themselves, as well as all the various other clones. Ash and friends arrive in time, but are quickly captured and shipped away with the other clones. Mewtwo swears he'll protect the clones to death, even though the machines are siphoning off his power in order to bend his will to Giovanni's. But Mewtwo continues fighting against them, even though this is hurting him and might actually cause his death. Giovanni begins destroying the home the clones have made and constructing a cloning lab in order to create a Pokemon clone army. The construction kind of starts polluting the area, and this makes the various bug Pokemon who live around the mountain really agitated, and they begin attacking the construction crew. This sets off a chain reaction that manages to free Ash and everybody else, who rush off to save Mewtwo. They manage to destroy the machines that are keeping it trapped, but Giovanni can still take it on this weakened state. This is before Brock, Misty, the various clones, and the entire army of bug Pokemon begin fighting against them, while Ash takes Mewtwo to the healing spring in order for it to recover. Ash tosses Mewtwo into the healing spring, and this also helps Mewtwo get over its various angst. Mewtwo teleports everyone except Team Rocket into an underground cavern, leaving Team Rocket alone on the mountain. Mewtwo tries to erase everyone's memories, but the various clones say stop doing that because they want to remember their experience with everybody else. Mewtwo does erase Team Rocket's memories as well as the researchers so they don't remember the water and accidentally cause any trouble. Ash and friends leave before Mewtwo and the remaining clones leave into the wild, and the special ends with the narrator speaking of rumors of Mewtwo showing up in various cities. Basically being Batman. So how's the special overall? It's pretty great. In fact, it's probably the best follow-up to the first movie we could hope for. This special adds some closure to Mewtwo's various stories, and full story to various clones, And having a final bout to an extent with Giovanni really helps it in a way. Wrapping up Mewtwo's story, and while Ash and friends don't do much in the actual story, they don't really need to do much. Like the first movie in the beginning, this is Mewtwo's show. And because it is Mewtwo's show, he should be the principal focus of the movie, or special in this case. Ash plays his part and helps Mewtwo along with his character arc, but that's all there is to it. And yes, before anyone mentions it, there is an environmental message in this movie with the whole clear water, pure water stuff. I'm gonna say they don't beat you over the head with it, like a lot of environmentally focused things do. It's just sort of a background element that plays a plot point at a later point in the movie, or special. So I wouldn't label it as a propaganda or environmentalist movie. I would just say it has environmentalist elements in it. To be fair, pretty much every single Pokemon movie has environmental elements in it. They're sort of built into the series from the onset. Overall, this is a much watch if you're a fan of the Pokemon movie, especially if you love the first movie. It'll wrap up Mewtwo's story and you get to see some awesome fight scenes here and there. So yeah, that's it for this one. Let's go with the next one.